afternoon and welcome. My name is Julia Middleton and I work with the Rural Health Initiative. The mission of the RHI is to engage partners to share ideas and expertise and to support communities in improving health while stimulating a higher level of wellness across the state. Thank you all for joining us today for the webinar Celebrate Montana Farm to School Month, Ideas and Resources, presented by Aubree Roth from Montana Team Nutrition and the National Farm to School Network, Howe from FoodCorps, and Lindsay Howard from the Mission Mountain Food Enterprise Center. Each of the presenters will tell you about the program she works with and share ideas and resources for your Farm to School Month celebration. Just a few technical details before the presenter begins. All lines have been set to mute. You may press *6, again that's *6 to unmute your line. At the end of the presentation, there will be an opportunity to ask questions. Throughout the presentation, if you have a question, you may type it into the chat box in the sidebar to the right of your screen. Without any further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you, Julia, and to RHI for hosting this webinar. Today we will be hearing from 3 different presenters, myself included. I will be joined by Howe and Lindsay Howard. So let's get started. So I'm Aubree Roth. I'm delighted to work with Montana Teen Nutrition Program as the Farm to School Coordinator and serve as the Montana State Lead for the National Farm to School Network. I also have the pleasure of working with Gallatin Valley Farm to School, a Bozeman nonprofit. Montana Teen Nutrition functions as the education arm of the school meals programs in Montana. It is part of the Office of Public Instruction School Nutrition Programs and is funded by the USDA. We work with educators, school administrators, school food service managers, parent groups, or community members to provide training and technical assistance centered on implementing school student wellness through school-based programs like school meal programs, nutrition education, and physical activity, and of course my favorite, Farm to School. So, what is this term Farm to School? You probably already know since you're on this webinar, but for those of you who are new to the Farm to School concept, welcome and thank you for joining us. Farm to School is broadly defined as any program that connects schools, which we're talking about K through 12 here, but there's also farm to college programs as well, and local farms. Farm to School includes many types of programs and activities, as you will see soon throughout this webinar. They're best described using the 3 C's of Farm to School: cafeteria, classroom, and community. At their best, Farm to School programs enable schools to feature healthy, locally sourced products in their cafeterias, either in farm fresh salad bars, as hot entrees, or as snacks. The products can be pretty much anything: fruits and vegetables, meats, dairy, nuts, honey, whatever's grown and produced in the region. These could be fresh, minimally processed foods or value added to meet the needs of school cafeterias. Activities in the cafeteria are supplemented by hands-on education using local foods as a medium to meet educational objectives and standards. This also closes the loop from education and the classroom to the cafeteria. School gardens and farm field trips are important parts of many programs. These are important to connect the cycle from the growing, the farm or the garden, to the plate. The garden in the photo is in the Summers Lakeside School and is part of nutrition education classes. How awesome is this? Research shows that nutrition education and gardening can modify children's knowledge, attitudes, and behaviors towards healthy eating, increasing fruit and vegetable consumption at school as well as in the home, which is incredibly exciting. So as you can tell, there are many benefits to Farm to School programs. Some of these include health. By instilling healthy eating habits early in life, we're preventing a health crisis and saving healthcare spending along the way. Children form healthy eating habits when they're young, so it's important that we start that training soon. Farming. Farm to School currently contributes about 5% of farm income for participating farms, though farmers see value in the community connections it helps them develop. Environment. In the U.S., the typical food item travels 1,500 to 2,400 miles from farm to plate. A head of California lettuce shipped to Washington, D.C. requires 36 times more fuel energy to transport than the food energy it provides, and that's some tired lettuce. Economy. Buying direct from local farmers generates 44% more revenue for the local economy than purchasing food at supermarkets. In direct marketing initiatives, farmers take home 80 to 90% of each dollar the consumer spends, which is in stark contrast to the 10% or less that farmers receive through the traditional system. In addition to the 4 obvious reasons I just listed, farm fresh products are fresher and thus tastier. And who doesn't love that? Farm to School is a win-win situation for farmers, children, communities, the economy, and the environment. So on to the true topic of this conversation, which is National Farm to School Month. In November 2010, Congress approved to officially designate October as National Farm to School Month. The passage of House Resolution 1655 demonstrated the growing importance and role of farm-to-school programs as a means to improve child nutrition, support local economies, and educate children about the origins of their food. There are many ways to celebrate Farm-to-School Month, and this year we're encouraging schools across the country to participate in Farm-to-School Counts by pledging to serve local food and or participate in Farm-to-School activities. With the Farm-to-School Counts pledge, you can be entered to win $1,000 for your Farm-to-School program. So visit farmtoschoolmonth.org to sign up and also get some more resources. So now I'll turn it over to Lee Howe to discuss how FoodCorps members will be celebrating across Montana. Lee, go ahead and unmute your line.
Just a reminder, Lee, that's *6 to unmute. You can press *6 to unmute your line. Lee, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you, Lee.
I'm so sorry about that. Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining in on this call. As Aubree mentioned, I work for an organization called FoodCorps, and FoodCorps, for those of you that don't know, is a nationwide team of leaders that connects kids to real food and helps them grow up healthy. It's also an AmeriCorps service program, so it places these leaders in limited resource communities for a year of public service. Next slide. So here is this year's team of FoodCorps members. They serve in 12 states. And next slide. And this year in Montana, we have 10 members serving in communities across the state. And in order to connect kids to healthy food and create lifelong healthy eating habits, FoodCorps implements a 3-ingredient recipe for healthy kids. So we teach children about what healthy food is and where it comes from. Next slide. FoodCorps members build and tend to school gardens where kids can taste the real food that they've grown. Next slide. And our FoodCorps members partner with farmers to put high quality, oftentimes local or regionally sourced food on school lunch menu. Next slide. So again, here are the 10 sites we have service members in across Montana. We have the Rocky Boy Indian Reservation. We have a member up in Ronan at the Flathead Indian Reservation, Red Lodge, Glendive, Ennis, Billings, Kalispell, Missoula, Bozeman, and Boulder. Next slide. And so Farm to School Month, as you can tell, is an awesome way for our FoodCorps service members and other Farm to School vistas in the state to really sort of ramp up our efforts and really celebrate all the good stuff we're doing in schools. And so I am going to just briefly list sort of what's going on in each service site across the state. And just keep in mind that our service members have actually only been on the ground for one full month now. So these ideas are still evolving. And if you live in one of these communities, you can feel free to contact me if you want to, and I can put you in touch with these service members that is closest to you. So next slide. So we have Katie Wheeler in Kalispell, who is sort of our procurement guru. And so she has listed some of the great local food options that she will be serving along with her food service manager and staff up in Kalispell. They'll have all wheat Montana bread, desserts with local pumpkins, zucchini, and cherries, lots of local roasted veggie wraps. They'll continue to use local beef and hummus plates with local lentils and pumpkin soup. Yum. Next slide. Then we have Nikki in Ronan, who's actually working with Lindsay, who you'll hear from momentarily, who's her site supervisor, and another Farm to School Vista to tackle 3 school districts, Ronan, Polson, and St. Ignatius. And they will be doing a big local Montana meal, and I'm sure they'd be happy to provide you with a menu if you want ideas on the 16th. Doing lots of other local sourcing throughout the month, working with the art teacher to have students decorate the cafeteria, farm field trips, and they'll have a drawing, I love this, where kids can actually win lunch with a farmer. And garden and greenhouse work days throughout the month as well. Next. And this is an example of one of their great bean fact cards. So this is a great way to get kids excited about eating the beans, tell them all the nutritional facts, and give them a recipe. And I'm sure they'd be happy to share that with you too if you're interested. Next slide. Then we have Pete here in Missoula, who is possibly organizing a cider press at various schools in the Missoula Public School District. He's going to be doing a lot of local sourcing, or will continue to do a lot of local sourcing throughout the month. He's co-organizing a garden safari and picnic at Lowell School on October 24th. And most recently, he has talked about actually bringing some livestock to the school so kids can actually interact with the animals and have some real hands-on agriculture education. Next slide. We have Teena and Rocky Boy, and she will be doing school-wide fruit and vegetable art projects that will be hung throughout the school. There'll be a big competition where the students with the art projects chosen will have the opportunity to participate in a groundbreaking ceremony where the newly permitted land for a school garden will be blessed by a traditional elder, and it will be a very special day, and that will actually take place on the 24th of the month, which is Food Day, and actually I should mention several of the big local meals will take place on Food Day, which I will talk about after I go through each service member. And lastly, Teena will also have every class in the school participate in garden cleanup, weeding, bed building, and fruit tree planting throughout the month. Next slide. We have Camille in Boulder, who is also doing a lot of local sourcing for meals. She will also be having a local meal day on October 24th, where they'll be baking potatoes from the school garden for a baked potato bar. She's also ordering almost all of her fruit and vegetables through the Western Montana Growers Co-op for the USDA's Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Program throughout the month. There will be lots of greenhouse activities, and one, I can't remember the night, but for a parent night in the month, they'll be doing a local chili, and the fourth graders will talk about nutrition and local food, and I think they're going to have some physical activities there as well. Next slide. Then we have Natasha, Hegmann, and Ennis, who actually tomorrow, several members of the USDA will be coming to visit Ennis to celebrate their school's Gold Award for the Healthier U.S. Schools Challenge. So they'll have a big school assembly and lunch, and then on the 6th, they're having a big community harvest dinner with fresh cider pressing. And then again on the 24th, on Food Day, they will also have apple sampling, and we'll have some chefs come in and prepare food and do cooking lessons with the students. Next. That's Natasha. And we have Erin in Bozeman, who is doing several field trips, like pumpkin picking with the first and kindergartners, and the 5th graders will be taking a trip to Amalthea Goat Dairy. Next. Then we have Madison and Billings, who will be doing gardening workshops, and she's working with the Yellowstone Boys and Girls Ranch, and they have a very productive fruit and vegetable garden down there, so she's going to try and really connect that produce to their school lunches. Next. Then we have Alyssa in Red Lodge, and she's also doing a huge, almost like community-wide participatory local meal day, and so they're going to have local hummus, barley for soup, local beef, greens, squash, and farmer visits throughout the day from a lot of the farms where this produce is coming from, and community members and student volunteers will be involved in all aspects of the meal preparation and decorating and harvesting, and so that's great. Next slide. Then we have Anne all the way out in Glendive, and she will be doing lots of taste tests with local food. Weekly local produce will be featured in the meals, cider pressing, a big Montana-made meal actually the day after Food Day on the 25th with local beef, and a harvest festival in the community. So lots of great stuff going on. And one thing we've all been sort of trying to figure out amongst FoodCorps and other farm-to-school workers and AmeriCorps workers in the state is sort of a way to really collaborate and combine efforts. And one idea we had was to do sort of a film screening at sites across the state. We have yet to really nail down the one film we're all going to screen, but that's a really great way to get community members to an event and really drive home some of the farm-to-school and sustainable agriculture messages that we all try and promote. So these are just a couple examples of films. And so Food Day, which I kept talking about, Food Day is a nationwide celebration and a movement toward more healthy, affordable, and sustainable food. It was created by the Center for Science and the Public Interest and is powered by a diverse coalition of food movement leaders, organizations, and people from all walks of life. So it takes place annually on October 24th and addresses a number of issues in our food system, including health, nutrition, and agriculture. Next slide. And they have a ton of absolutely amazing resources on their website. I encourage you all to visit it. On the right side of the screen, you'll see an example of a great poster that you can print offline. You'll also find a 2012 guide for schools, a Food Day class curriculum, which I used as a FoodCorps service member last year all throughout the year. I mean, you can use it leading up to Food Day, but you can also use it forever. Their curriculums, I cannot say enough about how wonderful their curriculums are. And they also have sample highlight activities from last year and a FoodCorps one-pager and all sorts of marketing materials for Food Day, farm to school stuff. So next slide. And again, feel free to contact me anytime if you have any questions, if you want me to connect you to any of the service members that you just learned from or heard about what they have going on in their communities. And I hope you all have a great Farm to School month.
Thanks, Lee. That was great hearing about the FoodCorps program. I know I'm looking forward to Food Day and what celebrations we'll have in the Bozeman area. Lindsay, did you get a chance to call in? And if you did, just a reminder to unmute your line and press *6 to unmute your line.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, thanks, Lindsay.
Okay. Hi, I'm Lindsay, and I'm the Farms Institution Project Coordinator with Mission Mountain Food Enterprise Center, a program of Lake County Community Development Corporation, which is a nonprofit regional economic development agency. Our staff strives to drive economic growth in our communities, and we believe that farm-to-school programs are a great way to do so. So Mission Mountain Food Enterprise Center is a designated center of the Montana Department of Ag's Food and Ag Development Center Network. This network really is about assisting Montana entrepreneurs with food and other value-added product development and with marketing, with farm-based energy development, and more. There are 4 centers located in Joliet, Havre, Southwest Montana, which is based in Butte, and then us here in Ronan. And we all operate with funding from the 2011 legislature. The centers support economic development by ensuring that more of the state's food, agricultural, and energy dollars circulate in Montana. The network provides training, coaching, and technical assistance, including product development, testing, and nutrition analysis, regulatory compliance, food processing, market research, access to financing, cooperative development, and more. And as you can see, that's a picture of our small but really wonderful facility in Ronan and 2 of our long-standing clients, Silent Creations Buffalo Jerky and Tipu's Chai Tea. Next slide, please. Mission Mountain Food Enterprise Center is also growing its Farms Institution program, and we are truly thankful to all the schools and partner organizations who support this work. The Western Montana Growers Cooperative is a critical piece to this system. They are a cooperative of about 40 farmers in Western Montana. They're based out of Arlee, and they provide aggregation, distribution, and accounting capacity. So by leveraging their services and MMFEC's processing facility, we're able to slice and dice and blanch and freeze all kinds of fruits and vegetables for schools. So this year we're working on perfecting some old products like fresh produce for the fresh fruit and vegetable program, and we're tackling new ones like frozen products for use during those harsh winter months. And yes, we still are making the Montana lentil patty, actually tomorrow. So the Montana lentil patty is a complete protein, alternative center of the plate type of product. It's made with all Montana ingredients, and we're thankful to our partners, Timeless Seeds, and again, the Growers Cooperative, and the Oil Barn, who supplies the safflower oil. So our goal with all these services and products is to really fill the gap for school food service programs. Sometimes schools don't have enough time or equipment or space or staff to do this type of processing, and we really are so thrilled to be able to help them meet their farm-to-school program goals. So as you can imagine, October is going to be a super busy month for our processing staff and myself. But we have a lot more going on in Lake County. Next slide, please. Thanks to the hard work of our AmeriCorps Vista, Shay Boudreau, and our FoodCorps service member, Nikki Jimenez, they have tons going on at our 3 partner schools throughout Lake County. Lee mentioned a lot of them. Shay specifically is working with Salish Kootenai College on forming student buying groups and cooking classes, and they are jointly working on school garden work days and art projects, and we are just so thrilled at Mission Mountain Enterprise Center to have them on board with the Farm to School team. So if you have any questions about what they're doing or how they're making it happen, please feel free to give them a call. Next slide, please. And lastly, MMSEC really would like to provide resources to your Farm to School program. If you have questions about food safety or procurement, whether you're a food service director or a teacher looking to do a taste test, food safety to us is super important, so give us a call. We'll get you, point you in the right direction, or hopefully just answer a simple question. We're also currently working on our website where we will have available for download Harvest of the Month posters that are specific to Montana. You can see those are on flathead cherries, one of our favorites. We'll also have local snack fact sheets and other wonderful resources that our AmeriCorps service members are currently developing. In the meantime, please, you can just email us and we'll send you those resources your way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. I'm really excited for those posters to come out. I don't know if she mentioned it, but there's a dozen posters being created, so there'll be all different crops, so they'll be really helpful in the cafeteria. So I'm going to give just a few ideas from Bozeman and then also talk about some available resources. So in Bozeman, just this September, the Bozeman School Board of Trustees passed a resolution in support of Farm to School Month. So that's a really exciting step. This is a great way for school boards to support farm to school programs that are either already existing or just getting started. And this model resolution is available for anyone to use at gvfarmtoschool.org. You'll see that web address up there. You could also organize an art or poster contest or project like we're doing in Gallatin County and a few other places around Montana. This is a great way to get the kids involved and aware of what Farm to School is in a creative way. One great resource is the farmtoschoolmonth.org site. It's probably the best resource for Farm to School Month, which for obvious reasons. But I did circle a few things on this site, this screenshot, to point out to you. So you'll see over here, there's the resources tab. That's where you'll find ideas, the communications toolkit, which includes press releases and all kinds of different ways that you can communicate with your community to let them know about your events. There's downloadable logos, PSA ads, posters, etc. Then the events tab, still at the top green bar, that's where you can put your event on the map, and I really encourage you to do that. You can also find events in your community this way, and it's a great way to see what's happening around the state and around the country for Farm to School Month. And then there's this shop tab, and that's where you can buy pre-printed posters, stickers, aprons, cutting boards, all kinds of things with the Farm to School Month logo and other cute designs, which are a great way to really promote Farm to School Month, especially if you're doing any photo or video kind of things. And then lastly, it's really important that you go here and take the Farm to School Month Counts Pledge. And like I said before, there is a prize that will be randomly selected for those people who signed up for the pledge. This will really help us get some numbers on Farm to School Month celebrations and see how everybody celebrated the month. Montana Teen Nutrition also has provided some resources that would be a great help for your Farm to School Month celebrations. You can download the how-to guide and helpful documents for the Harvest Montana fundraiser, which is a local food school fundraising model that offers local healthy foods rather than candy, wrapping paper, or other trinkets. This is a fantastic way to celebrate the Farm to School Month, at the same time raising money for your school and supporting the community's economy and agriculture. Montana Teen Nutrition also created the Montana menu boards, which are shown on the slide, to showcase Montana foods being served in the lunchroom. These menu boards are laminated and intended for reuse with dry erase markers and for use in school cafeterias. You can contact me if you are interested in these menu boards for your school. Just recently, Gallatin Valley Farm to School released the Farm to School Month Teacher Toolkit. This can be downloaded on the website, and it gives activity ideas, provides information on farm field trips, recommends books and films for use in the classroom, and then also lists some books and videos that are in the Farm to School library collection, which are held at the Bozeman School District Media Center. Some of this information is obviously Gallatin Valley specific, such as the library holdings and the farms that are available for field trips in our area, but the rest is relevant throughout Montana. To help supplement this webinar, we know that you're all scribbling down different websites and different resource names and people to contact. We put together a document that includes all of these resources and more. You can download it at the web address. And it will also be posted along with the archived version of this presentation on the RHI website. And we modeled it after a recipe, so you can kind of follow along and really build a whole month Farm to School Month celebration. So with that, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate the opportunity to share all of these ideas and connect you with resources. So now we'll take a few questions. It appears that we don't have any questions that were submitted online, but we'll allow you to answer questions over the phone. Do you want to see that?
So if you have any questions for any of our presenters today, feel free to unmute your line. You can press *6. Again, that's *6 to unmute your line and ask questions, or you can still type them into the chat box, which is located on the sidebar to the right of your screen. While we're waiting for some questions to pop up, I just would like to thank Aubree, Lee, and Lindsay for their time and expertise today. I certainly have some ideas of all the delicious local foods I'm going to eat this month to celebrate Farm to School Month. And again, feel free to type questions in the chat box or to unmute your line by pressing *6 and asking a question. All right, since you guys did such a great job covering the topic, it looks like we don't have any questions yet, but feel free to contact any of our presenters using the information presented on the screen, or you can email me as well. This is Julie Middleton at the Rural Health Initiative. Oh, and it looks like we got a question in, so I'll let Aubree go ahead and answer that.
Okay, the question is if there's any known activities in the Missoula school area. Lee, do you want to cover that?
Yes, there are several. Again, they're still being developed. One is actually taking place this Friday. They actually do it every Friday, but it's at Willard Alternative High School, and they do
a big local food meal. Pete Kearns would be a really great contact for the Missoula County Public Schools. He is a service member here, and he is sort of in the midst of organizing at various schools. And so if you're curious, please be in touch with me, and I can put you in touch with Pete. There will definitely be something going on for Food Day on the 24th at Lowell Elementary School, and we will also hopefully be organizing a film screening at some point, probably towards the end of the month. So if you would like to be kept posted on all of this stuff, I'd be more than happy to do that. Or if you live here in Missoula and have any ideas and want to coordinate with us, we'd be happy to do that too.
Thanks, Lee. I don't hear or see any other questions, but again, contact information for the presenters is on the screen, or you can feel free to contact me at the Rural Health Initiative. This is Julia Middleton. And with that, we'll go ahead and conclude today's webinar. Thank you, everyone, for attending, and thank you especially to the presenters for sharing with us